Today's show is supported by Liberty Magic, Pittsburgh's premier speakeasy theater dedicated to the art of elevating magic. This time they are presenting David Williamson in Ridiculous, a family-friendly show where magic and comedy collide. David's signature magic is filled with jaw-dropping illusions and a very distinct sense of humor. Yes, he is a magician, but he's also been called a clown and even an anarchist. So get ready for a show with a lot of laughter. Ridiculous runs from April 2nd to May 3rd. Get your tickets at trustarts.org/magic before they disappear. This is CityCast Pittsburgh. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. Going to the airport is always a little bit complicated, and Pittsburgh does not have the nightmarish security lines that we're seeing in places like LaGuardia and Atlanta. But a lot of people I know are really on the fence about flying right now, especially since the Trump administration has added ICE into the mix. ICE agents are at airports doing some of the work that used to exclusively be performed by TSA. Everything is complicated and constantly evolving, but if you need a spring break reset and do not want to get on a plane, the answer could be a staycation. Today, we are throwing it back to a conversation with two of my favorite local writers, travel writers who know how to get out and have a good time, to talk about luxury hotel stays, spa services, good restaurants, and all the ways you can have an amazing time here at home. I am with CityCast contributor Meg St. Esprit and a local writer, Akanksha Agarwal. Welcome to CityCast.
Thank you. I am so excited to be back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Akanksha, I'm especially excited about yours because I know you've written before about some historic spaces here in Pittsburgh. Before we jump too deep in, I know some people might balk at us talking about spending money to sleep in a bed a few miles away from our own homes. So if we have any skeptics in the house, please sell us on a Pittsburgh staycation.
So a staycation sounds kind of lazy, right? Because you're not going anywhere. You're just spending money to stay in your own city.
I think it's the opposite of lazy, actually. You have to want this, like, a lot.
And sometimes how I looked at it when I wrote that story is, what if you could kind of time travel?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we staycation year round. My husband and I always do a December one downtown. But we love like local campgrounds and cabins in the summer because there is a lot of great stuff here. And during the school year, it's hard to get away for a long time. Summer, there's lots of camps and things. So like a quick weekend within a half hour is nice.
Yeah. Akanksha, I know you've focused a lot on historic venues to stay at. That was an older piece for City Paper. And we're going to touch on those for sure. But let's start regional, I guess, like downtown. What would you recommend in that neighborhood?
So the Omni William Penn Hotel gives me all the Great Gatsby vibes.
Okay.
Yeah.
The beautiful chandeliers. You would almost expect somebody to be dancing in flapper dresses nearby.
Which maybe they do down in the bar in the basement, the speakeasy.
Oh, yeah. I think from the lobby, they have like a staircase.
Mm-hmm.
And that shows you the tucked-in bar. And I think it's called Speakeasy. I think that's the name.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I just saw in the news yesterday that they just requested a $40 million grant to update and renovate that hotel because it is so historical.
Okay,
Wow.
They better mean like cleaning the brass fixtures or something. Like you can't update it too much.
No, it was like preserving, like stuff with the facade and different things like that.
Like keep the vintage charm.
Yeah, because an old building like that requires some upkeep,
Fair enough. What would you expect from a night at a place like the Omni William Penn?
So the one thing I always think if you're doing a staycation is built-in time for downtime. Like enjoy the fireplace, bring a book, take a bath in the big claw-footed bathtub. Like really just enjoy yourself, enjoy the space, maybe venture out to a local restaurant and then come back to your elegant room. But just enjoy the space more than trying to check things off a list. That I need to do this, and this.
I feel like that's antithetical to how a lot of us travel. Like, and maybe it's just my friend group or whatever, but we're often very regimented. Like we have a thing or two or three that we're going to hit every day. So there's less room for the rest part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, though. Part of a staycation, because it is your city, and you probably have been to most of the places near the hotel, are more about relaxation.
Okay. Meg, what about you? What's high on your list for downtown?
So this is one that's kind of hidden, but the Even Hotel, which is in the old Kaufman's building. It takes up the 5th and 6th floor, and it's what they call adaptive reuse. So they took this large building that no longer is needed for, Kaufman's. There's a Target, a Five Below, some condos, and they made a small 2-floor hotel in it. It is not fancy. It's the opposite of the William Penn. However, it's super clean, it's well-staffed, and it is usually like around $100 a night if you look on Priceline. It's an IHG hotel, so you can use your Holiday Inn points. So we did that last December, my husband and I. Just one night, we went out to dinner. We walked around downtown. We saw the Christmas tree. And then, we just relaxed without our kids, thanks to my parents, by the way.
I mean, actually, to that point, like, are you imagining like a staycation should be like 1 evening, 2 evenings? Is that getting too like ambitious?
I think just 1 evening, you check in on a Saturday, you check out Sunday. Just enjoy the day.
Okay.
Yeah, we've mostly done one night also, unless we're doing something like in the summer, like, Jellystone Campground in Harrisville. Like we might do 2 nights there, but that's more like 45 minutes out of the city.
When you're hiking, doing other things as well.
And there's pools and a water park. But for something like this, like a relaxation night, I just like, you don't have to worry too much about getting someone to take care of your house, whatever. It's just a one and done.
Okay. I think that's like sort of a pivotal point, like one night, especially for a locale like downtown. It's because you're focused on the rest, right? Akanksha, what about you? Anything else you'd recommend for downtown?
The Joinery Hotel is really nice. It's kind of more modern in how it looks, but that is also a historical building. And it reminds me of why Pittsburgh is called Steel City. It's got all these exposed beams, the brick facade. So the Joinery is a really nice hotel to me. A mix of the modern and the industrial, I would say.
Yeah, and it's also got a rooftop, I think. It's one of the Hiltons.
Yes. And then you can go leaf peeping at Point State Park. You can enjoy brunch at Speckled Egg, or you can just stay in the hotel and just enjoy like an immersive staycation instead.
Yeah, one more I'd throw out. I haven't actually stayed there overnight, but we love their funky bar, the Rebel Room, is the Industrialist. And just like the Joinery is part of Hilton's high-end historic, the Curio Collection, this is a Marriott Autograph Collection. And that's just kind of ones that are funkier. They're a little different than their other hotels. So I just love that it's right in the heart of downtown. When we stayed at the Even Hotel, we went to the Rebel Room for some Christmas drinks.
Oh, that's funny. You crossed the street. You branched out a little bit.
Right. You can get the price of the Even Hotel with the, kind of historic charm of the Industrialist.
Nothing like a good deal.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But it's totally worth a stay, too. I mean, I've seen the rooms. They're beautiful. I just haven't had a chance yet there to stay overnight.
Yeah. It's one of the most striking ones, I would argue, on the whole, like, 4th Avenue corridor. I was really lucky recently to get to do, like, an audio tour of the history of 4th Avenue. And fun fact, the Industrialist, what is now the Industrialist Hotel, was built by someone we would call the bathtub king of Pittsburgh.
Oh
so
my gosh.
If you're familiar with the American Standard brand, like for bathtubs and sinks and toilets, that's the skyscraper that was built with that money.
Toilet fortune. Wow. Well, you wouldn't know because it's so beautiful. I wouldn't attribute it to that.
I mean, I've seen some beautiful toilets, Meg. I don't know.
True. I wonder how the toilets are in that hotel. Makes me want to stay there even more.
Maybe this would be your Christmas staycation for this year, Meg.
Honestly, it's on our short list for sure.
CityCast Pittsburgh is brought to you today by Allegheny County. The county is recruiting poll workers, such an important job for the May 19th primary election. Poll workers, also called election officers, help run voting locations, and they earn money, $150 to $175 for the day, plus paid training before Election Day. Training can be in person or online, and new poll workers must complete it before working on Election Day. To serve, you must be a registered voter here in Allegheny County and be able to work the full day on May 19th. Poll workers play an important role in ensuring a smooth, fair election, and they gain valuable experience interacting with voters and managing the election process. If you're interested in earning a little extra money and supporting your community, apply online at AlleghenyVotes.com. Learn more and submit your application at AlleghenyVotes.com today. Today's show is supported by Quantum Theater. We appreciate a good nem-nose here at CityCast Pittsburgh. And if you enjoy a look behind the scenes, you're not going to want to miss the new comedy 10 out of 12. The play is all about the technical rehearsal that happens before a play's opening night. And the audience will get a glimpse of how lighting and sound and scenery and special effects all come together and the chaos that can come along the way. And Quantum is really taking this experience to the next level. It's really what they're known for. As an audience member, you are going to wear a headset. So one of the staples of a stage manager, which means you get to listen in on all the backstage drama in addition to the actors as they're doing their thing on stage. 10 out of 12 is written by Anne Washburn, directed by Andrew William Smith, and it's staged in the Mellon Institute's gorgeous Art Deco Theater. The show runs from April 3rd through the 26th. Learn more and purchase tickets at quantumtheater.com/10-12.
Today's show is supported by the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. Think about the last time you walked into a library. Maybe you were picking up your next great read, bringing your child to story time, studying for a test, or just looking for a quiet place to focus. In Pittsburgh, a lot of great stories start at the library. At Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh, people of all ages come to read, learn, and discover something new. And April 1st is Library Giving Day, a nationwide day to support the libraries that help our communities grow. Your gift keeps books, programs, and essential library services free for everyone. From early literacy to tutoring, job resources, and engaging learning opportunities that spark curiosity. So mark your calendar for April 1st. Donate at carnegielibrary.org/give. That's carnegielibrary.org/give to support Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh on Library Giving Day.
All right, let's start exploring some of Pittsburgh's many neighborhoods, because I feel like that's such a fun way to get a taste of a neighborhood you do not live in. Maybe you don't get to go there all that often, but like you think it's cute or there's some good shopping or whatever. What would be high on either of your lists for either an Airbnb or a hotel? Because I feel like there's a little bit more options there. You can get really more of a taste of the on-the-ground living when you vibe for an Airbnb.
So I love the Inn at Negley. It makes me feel like I'm living in a Jane Austen novel, although I haven't really lived there ever. I've just gone only for tea.
Yeah, that's traditional B&B for sure.
Yeah, but it's really Victorian. It's got only 8 rooms, really well kept. And I love the location, prime Shady Side.
Yeah,
you can
absolutely.
walk to the restaurants, you can, hit up any of the bars, or you could enjoy a nice tea or a nice wine and cheese night in your room.
Yeah, I didn't know they did it in your room. I feel like they make every single Pittsburgh list for like where to get a high tea, something like that, like with the finger sandwiches. Yeah, I've always heard about that, but I've not done it yet. Meg, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many great small walkable neighborhoods that literally all have Airbnbs. Lawrenceville's a really fun one. If you haven't taken some time to explore it, like there's just a lot to do. You can hop around. You don't need to move your car. Swickley has a couple really cute Airbnbs, and their little village is adorable. My girlfriends and I there's a gorgeous Queen Anne Victorian overlooking the Emsworth Lock in Emsworth.
Okay.
Well, obviously in Emsworth. And it's the second floor of this massive house. The owners are wonderful, and you can look out over the river. So that's not so much immersed in a neighborhood, but just kind of immersed in a piece of Pittsburgh history on the Ohio River.
Absolutely.
So that was more of like hanging in the room, watching movies, bringing our own food. That was great too.
Yeah. Are you ever nervous about staying in like an Airbnb space, especially in your own city where like these are your neighbors? You could theoretically see them at the Giant Eagle at some point when it's like a house share, like you're staying there and the homeowners are right there on site.
I mean, I haven't had a negative experience. I loved the owners of this house. And so if I ran into them at Giant Eagle, I'd be like, hello, how are you? But I'm also kind of a golden retriever. So that might be dependent on my personality.
A bit of an adventure, right?
Yeah. No, I think you're selling me on it. I think I was a little nervous thinking about it, but you're right. This is just another opportunity for neighborliness. Anything else?
Maybe nebbiness.
Yes.
And nebbiness. You're right.
I mean, literally getting to stay in some of these big old houses that otherwise you're just looking at them from the street. It's kind of a neat opportunity.
Or on Zillow, let's be real.
Oh my gosh, my favorite scrolling, yes.
Where else would y'all recommend here in the city? Or I guess around the city?
So if I can take you a little bit out of the city, this is the farthest one I have. Chapel Valley Estates. This is in Beaver County, North Swickley Township. I would say it's like 10 minutes outside of Zillionople, so it's not hard to get to. They have some traditional B&B rooms, and then above their garage, they also have a carriage house suite that's got like the hot tub in it, all of that in one suite. We actually stayed here for our wedding, but had a baby shower there. They have an events room, but it is like the classic Airbnb experience. So it's worth, maybe a 40-minute drive.
Okay. Yeah. But I feel like 40 minutes, like, I mean, of course, depending on where you are in the city or around it, like, that's not terrible for a staycation vibe, right? Like,
Right.
it doesn't feel like you're fully on a trip.
Yeah, if something goes wrong at your house, you could be home. It's not like you're getting on a plane and flying somewhere or you're driving hours away.
Although I maintain if we're on staycation rules, like, my phone is dead. You cannot contact me. I'm here, but I'm not here. Look
Yes.
away.
The entire point is to like unplug, unwind, and still get that vacation without leaving your own city.
Yeah, yeah. I would put a plug in actually for the Priory Hotel on the north side.
Yes.
I've not stayed there, but I've attended multiple weddings there. And well, I guess technically I didn't stay overnight, but I did see the inside of the hotel rooms. Quite nice. And then you get to walk around like kind of that Deutschtown area of the north side. If you want to go a little further, there's
The hotel
Federal.
itself, it used to be a Benedictine monastery back in the day.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's got
wow.
such a
And,
cool history.
Yeah, and it recently got a big facelift.
And I haven't been in it since that. So it was pretty before. I'm sure they made it even nicer.
And it's got like still that vintage charm.
I've only been there for weddings too, but they've all been phenomenal.
And they also have the Monk's Bar, which is known for craft cocktails. So that kind of feels like a little staycation within a staycation.
Yeah. Well, before we move on, I feel like we do have to at least throw a bone to our neighbors south of the Mon River. There's a lot of little communities down there. I guess I'm not as familiar with their Airbnb options, but now this has given me a moment to think about that. We're going to have to scroll the phones, Meg. I think that's going to be our next task as a group.
So maybe that's a little homework assignment. You should cross a river for your staycation and explore somewhere you don't normally go.
Yeah, I think that's the move. Meg, I also hear you have a pitch for airport hotels. I got to say, I'm so skeptical of this. Sell us.
I'm skeptical about going to the airport in the first place.
I know. That's the whole point of a staycation is to avoid the airport.
Okay, first, so caveat, I love airports and I love people watching in airports, and our new airport is gorgeous. I'm very excited about it. So all of that to be said, even before all of that, staying at the Hyatt at the airport, like whether before a trip or just for a one night to kind of like watch the planes, enjoy the room, the pool, the restaurant, whatever, it's nice. It's out of the city, yes, but you can go walk around, and in the new terminal, because we're such a greeter city, it has a really large area before you even get to TSA that you can just kind of people watch.
You're totally selling it.
You are not selling me at all. This does not sound like a fun time to me to be stuck in the airport.
I feel
for
I
a
just
night.
have like airport trauma because the only time I've stayed in an airport hotel is when I've missed a connection or a flight is horribly delayed.
1,000%. Like I
Right.
could be home right now, but instead I have decided to pay money to be stuck at the airport.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm not going to sell you on it. I will say my parents are huge fans of staying at that Hyatt the night before a trip to kind of get the party started early.
Okay, that makes it slightly more sense to me.
Okay. And now,
Especially if you have if you're twitchy about making an early flight or something like that.
yeah, absolutely. And, they don't live super close to the airport like we do. And the other option is not actually at the Marriott, but they call it the Airport Marriott. It just got a huge $18 million renovation last summer. New furniture, facelift, new restaurant. They have a pool. You could just really cosplay someone who has the money to travel, even though you're not actually going somewhere. It's really nice. It's near the airport, and they have a shuttle to the airport if you are
That
traveling.
I could live with if I'm not actually traveling but just going to the airport to stay at a hotel.
Like, airports have nice hotels for a reason.
Yeah,
I'm
hang
just saying.
out, chill a couple of days, come back home refreshed. I'm fine. I just don't want to get on the flight.
Yeah, I'm looking at the photos of this place. I'll say this. No matter what it looks like on the outside, no matter where it is positioned, even next to an airport, if the amenities are good enough and I don't have to leave the property, then okay, fine. I will consider it.
It's a very nice Marriott. Very nice.
Meg, Akanksha, I hope I see y'all on a future staycation. I hope I see it on your social media profiles. Thank you both for sharing
Thank you so much.
your experience, your wisdom, and your aspirations with CityCast.
Absolutely. Maybe we can do like a girls' trip.
Yes, and Meg, I'm going to borrow a page out of your book and I'm going to make winter staycations a tradition with my husband.
I love it. Get a little break.
That is all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you want to support us, you can do that at membership.citycast.fm. We read literally every single message that comes in. We know all Yin's names, and we really, really appreciate it. You can get some cool stuff and hang out with us from time to time. All the details are at membership.citycast.fm. We will be back tomorrow with more from around the city. We'll talk to you soon.
People will be renting their homes for the NHL draft if
Yes.
you want to get really nebby.
We wanted to, and then we decided we were too messy, so.